Susana Kennedy Show. It's that Kennedy. The crazy caring cat. The Susana Kennedy Show.
What is your definition of success for yourself?
You know, I think success for me is it's getting up one more time after being knocked down, and you know, I think failure is abdicating and laying down. I think success is getting up one more time. I think, you know, success to me is really understanding what you want and putting steps and plans in place to go ahead and achieve it. And I think you're really right. You know, monetary success is, you know, we all go through different seasons of our life. And I think in our early parts of our years, you know, making money as quickly and as abundantly as possible is the first goal for so many people. You know, and of course, learning the ropes of how to get there. And I think sort of the later years, more of our autumn years of our life, which I won't include myself in at this point. I'm still the right.
Yes, you're a bit young for that section, yeah. Just yet.
I had my birthday with my daughter 2 days ago, which was really cool. But I am still the right side of 40, just about. So I'm not quite in those years, although I've got there a little bit quicker maybe than some, which allows me to get into that. I believe, you know, life is kind of the learn, earn, return. I think if there were 3 seasons of, you know, of your success development, and that would be it. So I think, you know, in our early years, we're just keen to learn everything and become successful and learn from people who have done it ahead of ourselves. And then, you know, you want to try and earn as much as you can so you can provide for yourself and your family and people around you. And then, of course, that contribution phase, which you see some of these great, you know, the great leaders of our world today, the Bransons and the Gates and the Buffetts, all now joining the Giving Pledge, you know, really just shows what people can do when, you know, when the top leaders of our world get together and make a commitment to change humanity forever. I think that's quite powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've achieved so much already, but what for you? Because I'm sure different people will say this is the best thing Greg's done, or that's the best thing Greg's done so far. But for you, what has been your most notable achievement?
I think my kids, probably. You know, I think when you see your kids running around and you realize you're leaving a legacy of a family that, you know, I think business success is wonderful, but I think to have you know, a really tight family and to have some of those magic moments, can't really replace those or buy those. I think that's probably one of the most important things in life, to put it all into perspective. I guess, you know, when I ask myself that question, that's probably the first thing that pops into my mind. But you know, to really just keep a commitment to myself of you know, having fun and trying to make a difference and you know, and just do things that I'm passionate about. I think it's where I'm there for. It doesn't ever feel like a day at work. It feels like I'm, you know, having fun and hopefully making
you're playing every day.
Yeah, that's right.
That's wonderful. So far, what has been the biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome?
Wow. I guess one of the big ones was my father was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago. And, you know, as a family, we were pretty shocked because my dad was really healthy, plays tennis most days, and, you know, and it's all been great physical shape. And I rallied around with friends of mine who are real leaders in the area of health in America, and we completely changed my father's diet. And I mean, it was a case of, okay, Dad's really sick, so we need to support him as much as we can. And so I went and I got him a juicing machine, and we got him Udo's oil, and we put him on this incredible diet. And we said, you're never to eat red meat again. And he was really disciplined and obedient. And my dad's in the best shape you've ever seen him in his life. You know, he's 72 now. He looks fantastic, but for us as a family, it was a real testing time.
I'm sure it was. I've lost a few close family relatives and friends to cancer, and it's an awful disease. What kind of cancer, may I ask, did he have?
Yeah, my dad had colon cancer, so he and it was pretty far gone, you know, so he had to have an operation, a big zip cut down the front of him, and, you know, he had to have a big chunk of his colon cut out, and that was quite a hectic time for our family. You know, we were so shocked and stunned. My family don't drink, they don't smoke, you know, they're certainly not involved in substance abuse or anything like that, so they're a very clean family. So for someone to, you know, you expect maybe someone to have that kind of thing happen to them when they've been abusing their body, but my parents have worked out their entire lives and kept very healthy. So we were shocked and stunned. But you know, it's really, I guess what my learning from that was, it's not really what happens to you, it's what you kind of do about it. I think that makes the difference. And you know, there we were faced with this challenge, and we were either going to accept what the doctors were saying, or we were going to do something about it. And we decided we were going to do something about it. So you know, I got on an airplane and I went to America. Fortunately, I'm in an industry where I spend a lot of my time, you know, on the world stage with absolute world-class leaders in the area of health, wealth, you know, entrepreneurship and all that good stuff. So I went to the health people and I said, what are you doing? You know, you're talking to people like a Brandon Bates, who just through nutrition and sheer will alone cured cancer with, you know, cancer the size of a melon on the side of her body. You know, you get around people like that and say, what do you do? And they say, well, you've got to get all the bad stuff out of your body. You've got to put some good stuff in your body. You've got to alkalize your body. You've got to get all the acids out, all the alcohol, which wasn't a challenge for my father, but things like the red meat, the acid-forming foods, you've got to get all that stuff out. And then you've got to start thinking good stuff. You've got to put some good things. So I bought my father something like 150 personal development books, my favorites, just took the whole clump from my, from my library and gave it to him. I said, you've got to read it, get good stuff in. And you know, then good stuff will start to come out, and that's exactly what he did. He read a book like every morning. So he read a personal development book from, you know, things like the Eckhart Tolles to the Anthony Robbins to the Deepak Chopras, you know, he read everything. And he just kept putting good stuff in his body. And hey, now he's 72 years old and he looks better than he did when he was 62. So, you know, we didn't give in, and that was it. So I think success is not giving in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in life is going to hurl lemons at you every once in a while. It's bound to happen. It's what you do with the lemons and how you handle catching them or getting whacked by them, I suppose. But in with the good and out with the bad is definitely very good advice. May I ask, what is your definition of love?
Wow. What is my definition of love? You know, for me, I think love comes in many different forms. And I think love is when you're in the space doing what you should be doing and in the moment where you are completely connected as opposed to being completely in your head. What I mean by that is when I speak to my team all around the world, we have teams all over the world doing different things for us. And I said, you know, when you're in your heart and you're in your body and you come from being in your body, you know, people will connect with you and they'll feel you're really real. If you just speak from your head and you think, oh, I must say, like, for example, in an interview like this, if you think of, oh, I must say this a certain way to come across in a certain way, people know when you're just coming from your head and not from your heart. So I think, you know, love is being in your body and being in your heart and connecting from your heart. And you always know when you are in that space and not being the idiot that's kind of, you know, just in your head coming up with things that you think you should say as opposed to feeling how you really feel.
Yeah, well, it's one of the reasons why I don't like to give my questions to the people I'm interviewing before, is because then you really do speak from the heart. You don't, nothing's been preconceived or created. Yeah. What do you think the three qualities, the most important qualities a human being can have are?
I think compassion. I think determination. And I think, what did I say? And passion.
Passion. Compassion, determination, and passion.
Yeah, compassion, determination, and passion.
It's a good combination. It's a winning combination. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, and who was it from?
Wow, that's a really tough one because I've been given a lot. So, and
I'm sure.
In business, my father always said to me, "Partnerships are sinking ships. Don't get into a partnership, and you know, just trust yourself and do." You know, do what you want to do, and I really took that advice on board. He said with partnerships, because my father was in a partnership, I suppose, for so many years with his brothers, so he knew it firsthand, and he wanted out of that and got out of it. And he said that, you know, when times go really well, you squabble over who deserves the lion's share of the profits, and you know, when times go badly, you're all blaming each other for the mistakes. So I think that was great advice for me, and I think some of the other great advice I've had is to really just do what you love doing. You know, do what you're passionate about, because I think many of us spend our lives doing things we feel we should do to either please our parents or our mentors or our teachers or our guardians or whoever gave us the idea of what we supposedly should be, as opposed to, do what we do love. And I think when you do what you do love over a period of time, you become a master at it, you become good at it, and then you can charge a good fee for it. And then when you charge a good fee for it, you can make a good living from it and you can create a nice life from it. But I think identifying what it is you really love first is most important. And I think that's the thing where you wake up in the morning and you look forward to doing it, as opposed to thinking, oh God, not another day doing that. So I think that's great advice.
So when you say the partnership is a sinking ship, you have, though, many partners in different businesses. It's like Google came in and said, hey, don't ask that question.
Yeah.
You've got various partners. Sorry?
Or South Africa Internet said your time is up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've got 2 more questions, and that's it. But you've obviously got many partners. So is it possibly also just choosing the right partners to do certain projects with?
Yeah, I mean, I've always believed in it's funny, it's a great point, actually. As time now changes, I do have lots of partners who obviously own their own business, but we partner on different projects. And I think when you're starting out, you own your own business and run it and take all the risk on yourself is an important thing to do. And that, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's very important. But I also think as you then grow and expand, you need to then alter your view there and have different partners. And I have many different partners around the world who, interestingly enough, we do some of the biggest projects you've ever seen without contract. Some of them we just have a great business relationship. And some of my partners in Southeast Asia and China, they won't sign a contract. That's just how they live. It's all about friendship first and business trust first. And they said, well, if we're ever going to screw each other over, all we're going to do is take each other to court, so why bother even having a contract in the first place? And they're some of the best business relationships I've ever had, because they've all been about trust and honor and friendship first, and then business second, which is very interesting, because they've been the best relationships and partnerships I think I've ever had.
Yes, it would be wonderful if the whole world operated like that, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
So my last question for you, Greg, you have got a lot of years still left on this earth. When you're 90 years old and hopefully surrounded by a whole bunch of grandchildren from your 3 kids, what would you like to be able to look back on your life and say, damn, I'm so glad I did that?
For me, it's always been really about making a difference, whether that's been, I think one of my gifts, which I guess I discovered by serendipity after getting on the stage and speaking and doing that part of my life, was it's always been about touching and moving and inspiring people. If I can do that from the stage and then bring other people with me to make a difference to a community or a country, then I feel I've done a really great job. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. You don't really get to keep the money that you make along the way. That's just kind of a side benefit. But the bit you do get to keep is I guess who you've become in the process. That bit never changes. And so I think by the actions you take and the daily behaviours you exhibit and the things you get involved with and the activities in which you partake, that really shapes who you end up becoming. It becomes a part of your destiny. And so for me, I want to make sure that I'm doing things that I love doing, contributing at the highest possible level, but most importantly trying to make a difference to people around me. And if I carry on doing that, I am alive at 90 odd years old and I'm looking back and I've made a difference, then I'll feel pretty happy.
Wonderful. Greg, thank you so much for chatting to me. It's been really, really great, and I hope to meet you at some point during the Success Summit. I will be in Joburg for that. And yeah, I wish you all the best. It's going to be an incredible event.
Oh, thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing you there.
Yes, and all the best with your family as well. Love to everyone and health and happiness to the new addition to your family as well.
Thank you very much.
The Susana Kennedy Show. It's that Kennedy. The crazy caring cat. The Susana Kennedy Show.